Something strange happens the moment a woman feels intrigued by a man. It's not logic. It's not a checklist. It's a pulse, a spark that seems to come from somewhere older than language. She can't explain it. She just feels it. And that feeling almost always begins with mystery. See, mystery isn't about deception. It's about depth. A quiet signal that says, there's more here than you can see. And that signal does something powerful to the female brain. It wakes up her curiosity, her imagination, her need to explore. You can't teach that kind of attraction. You can only trigger it. Every man who's ever truly fascinated a woman understands this, even if he can't articulate it. He doesn't rush to explain himself. He doesn't dump his life story in the first hour. He lets silence do part of the talking. He lets her wonder. Because the moment she starts wondering, she starts investing. The female mind is designed to seek connection, but not with just anyone. Connection feels meaningful when it's earned, when she feels she's discovered something hidden. That's what mystery provides, a sense of discovery. Without it, everything feels predictable, and predictability kills excitement faster than rejection ever could. Think about it. When a woman meets a man who seems slightly unreadable, her brain lights up with questions. Who is he? What's he thinking? Why doesn't he try harder? Those questions create emotional motion. And emotional motion is attraction. Not because she's shallow, but because curiosity is chemistry. The unknown releases dopamine. Anticipation fuels desire. It's not manipulation, it's biology. That's why the men who seem magnetic aren't necessarily the best looking or richest. They're the ones who carry themselves like they know something the world doesn't. Like there's a private world behind their eyes, and only a chosen few get to enter. That's the essence of masculine mystery. Not arrogance, but depth. Modern dating culture tries to flatten everything into transparency. Oversharing, constant texting, telling your whole life story before the second date. It's comfort without tension. And comfort, at the wrong stage, is poison. Because comfort removes uncertainty, and uncertainty is what gives attraction its voltage. Mystery doesn't mean playing games or pretending. It means being intentional about what you reveal. It means letting her feel the thrill of pursuit, too. Women love to chase just as much as men do. But their chase is mental, emotional. They chase understanding. They chase meaning. And a man who's a little unreadable becomes the puzzle her instincts can't resist solving. Most men think winning attraction is about proving themselves, showing they're good enough, stable enough, safe enough. But safety doesn't spark anything. Not at first. What draws her in is danger disguised as confidence. The quiet feeling that she's entering unknown territory. That's where fascination is born. So if you want to understand why women are drawn to mystery, start here. It's not the mystery of confusion. It's the mystery of potential. The possibility that behind your calm eyes and measured words lies a story that could change hers. And that's the unspoken code. She's not falling for who you are. She's falling for what she doesn't yet know about you. Next, why mystery and safety can't coexist, and why she'll always choose the one that makes her feel alive. Curiosity is not just a personality trait. It's a biological drive, especially for women. When a woman encounters a man who seems difficult to read, her brain doesn't interpret it as confusion. It interprets it as potential discovery. The same neurological pathways that light up when she solves a mystery novel or uncovers a secret are the ones that activate when she meets a man who doesn't show his cards too soon. See, the human brain loves puzzles, but it craves resolution. That craving releases dopamine, the chemical of motivation, anticipation, and reward. When something feels uncertain but promising, her brain floods with dopamine. Not because she's fallen in love, but because she might. That might is the most powerful word in attraction. Now here's where it gets interesting. Men often chase pleasure through achievement, the win, the trophy, the result. Women, however, chase pleasure through anticipation, the journey, the unfolding, the emotional storyline. That's why she doesn't fall for the man who hands her everything too quickly. She falls for the one who makes her feel the climb. Mystery, biologically, keeps her nervous system engaged. Her mind scans for clues, tone, posture, words left unsaid. Each unanswered question becomes a tiny spark, and the more sparks there are, the stronger the emotional connection feels. She begins to fill in the blanks with her imagination, projecting her ideals onto him. That's how attraction deepens, not through facts, but through fantasies that feel real. It's no coincidence that some of the most compelling male figures in history, artists, leaders, explorers, carried an aura of distance. Their mystery wasn't an act. It was presence mixed with purpose. They had something more consuming than attention-seeking, a mission. And women, at the biological level, are drawn to men whose energy feels like it comes from elsewhere. When she can't easily define you, she pays more attention. When she can't predict your next move, she feels more alive. That's because the female limbic system, the emotional center of the brain, is wired to track patterns in human behavior. A predictable man makes her relax. An unpredictable man makes her engage. But there's a fine line between mystery and confusion. Mystery invites curiosity. Confusion creates frustration. The difference is intention. The mysterious man is self-contained, not evasive. He reveals just enough to keep her emotionally invested, but never so much that she stops imagining. He's not hiding. He's holding. Holding depth, holding composure, holding back the impulse to over-explain himself. That's what biology respects. Restraint. Because restraint signals value. Anything rare, anything not easily understood feels more precious. It's the same instinct that makes humans value diamonds over pebbles, even though both are made of carbon. The difference isn't composition, it's scarcity. And that's what mystery really is at the biochemical level. Controlled scarcity. The limited access that fuels desire. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the psychology behind this attraction. Why mystery doesn't just excite women, but makes them bond with the man they can't fully decode. Next, Chapter 3. The psychological trap of mystery. Attraction is rarely logical. It's psychological. A storm of old instincts and modern expectations colliding in real time. And mystery is the lightning in that storm. It doesn't just make her curious, it makes her bonded. Because in the female mind, the unknown isn't just interesting, it's emotionally sticky. Let's break that down. When a woman can't fully understand a man, her brain enters what psychologists call a variable reward loop. It's the same loop that keeps people checking their phones or gambling at slot machines. Sometimes you get a reward, sometimes you don't. And that unpredictability is addictive. Every small reveal, every moment of closeness followed by distance, deepens the pattern. She starts to chase not the man himself, but the feeling of finally getting him. This is why the man who shares everything too soon rarely holds her attention. He satisfies curiosity before it's had time to grow into desire. But the man who reveals himself gradually, in stories, in silences, in contradictions, becomes a puzzle that her emotional system can't put down. Mystery psychologically creates a kind of unfinished narrative, and the human brain hates unfinished stories. It craves closure. That's why she keeps thinking about him long after they part. Not because of what he did, but because her mind hasn't solved him yet. He exists in her head as an open loop. And open loops pull focus. Women, in particular, are wired to read emotional nuance, tone, gesture, meaning beneath words. When a man's energy doesn't match the script she expects, her brain starts decoding. Is he confident or distant? Is he interested or just composed? That decoding process keeps her emotionally involved, often without her realizing it. But here's the trap. The more mysterious he is, the more she invests emotionally. And the more she invests, the more she feels. That emotional investment turns into attachment. She starts associating his uncertainty with intensity. He makes me feel alive because I never know where I stand. It's not always healthy, but it's real, and it's powerful. That's why women often describe their most intoxicating relationships as complicated. Complexity keeps the emotional loop alive. Predictability ends it. The safe man makes her calm. The mysterious man makes her feel. And in the realm of attraction, feeling always wins over calm. Of course, mystery has to be anchored in authenticity. When it's empty, when there's no real depth behind the silence, she eventually senses it. Real mystery isn't about withholding truth. It's about having truth so rich that it can't be explained in a single conversation. That's the difference between manipulation and magnetism. One hides emptiness. The other protects meaning. And when a woman senses that your silence hides something worth discovering, not games, but depth, she's caught, not trapped by deceit, but by fascination. Her mind begins to build a world around you, and once she does, leaving that world feels like losing part of herself. Next, Chapter 4. The feminine dance with the unknown. From the outside, it can look like contradiction. Women say they want honesty, stability, emotional transparency. And yet, again and again, they find themselves drawn to men who hold something back. Men who seem to live slightly beyond reach. It's not hypocrisy, it's instinct. Because deep in the feminine psyche lies an ancient dance with the unknown. Long before dating apps and dinner dates, the unknown meant possibility, survival, adventure, expansion. Mystery wasn't danger. It was destiny. The woman who could read the unseen, who could sense what lay beneath, passed those instincts on. Curiosity became part of her DNA. That instinct never left. Today, she doesn't need to read tracks in the forest. She reads tone, eyes, silence. But the thrill is the same. The feeling of moving toward something she doesn't yet understand. That's what mystery awakens. Her primal connection to potential. See, feminine energy thrives on movement. It's water, not stone. It flows toward stories, emotions, possibilities. Masculine energy, by contrast, is stillness. It holds, contains, defines. When these two forces meet, mystery becomes the bridge. It's the current that pulls her toward his stillness, the emotional gravity that makes her orbit around what she can't yet grasp. This is why women often describe their attraction in terms of energy rather than logic. There's just something about him. That something is the unknown, and it's intoxicating because it lets her imagination participate. The mysterious man gives her space to project her desires, her fantasies, her version of what he might be. He becomes a mirror for her own depth, but mystery without direction quickly turns to chaos. The dance only works when his stillness gives her unknown a center, when his mystery feels grounded, not evasive. She's not looking for confusion. She's looking for contrast, the steady presence that hides inner worlds, the quiet eyes that promise story, the calm that hints at fire underneath. This is the paradox. Women crave emotional safety, but they fall in love with emotional movement. Mystery gives her both. It feels safe because it's confident, but alive because it's unpredictable. She can relax into it and still feel the spark of discovery. That's why so many relationships fade not from lack of love, but from lack of curiosity. Once she feels she's seen every corner of you, her instinct begins to wander. To keep her captivated doesn't mean being distant. It means never becoming entirely known. It means evolving, growing, revealing new layers of purpose and thought. A man who keeps unfolding reminds her that the story isn't over, and as long as there's story, there's connection. In the feminine dance with the unknown, she doesn't want the whole truth at once. She wants to discover it with you, piece by piece, like a beautiful secret slowly unveiled. Because discovery keeps her alive. And mystery, when done right, doesn't hide truth. It invites her into it. Next, Chapter 5. How mystery builds emotional power. Power in relationships is rarely about control. It's about focus. The one who holds attention shapes the emotional reality between two people. And mystery, more than charm or looks or words, captures attention in a way nothing else can. When a woman can't fully read you, you occupy her mental space. You live in her thoughts between texts, between meetings, between moments. That's emotional gravity. And gravity is power. It's not about manipulation. It's about maintaining the element that keeps her emotionally engaged. Uncertainty wrapped in confidence. Every time she wonders what you're thinking or replays something you said, her emotional system deepens its bond with you. Psychologists call this cognitive investment. The more energy someone spends analyzing another person, the more emotionally attached they become. Mystery creates the conditions for that investment. But here's the secret. True mystery isn't about saying less. It's about meaning more. Every word, every gesture, every pause must carry weight. A mysterious man doesn't fill silence to escape awkwardness. He uses silence as punctuation. It signals that he's comfortable in his own company, that he doesn't chase validation. And that calm confidence forces her to lean in, literally and emotionally. That's emotional power, the ability to pull attention without effort. Because effort signals scarcity. Stillness signals abundance. The man who isn't rushing to prove his worth automatically feels more valuable. She feels it, even if she can't explain why. When you maintain mystery, you create polarity. Polarity is the magnetic tension that draws masculine and feminine energy together. It's what makes her feel that mixture of safety and danger, the sense that you could pull her close or disappear at any moment. That tension is what amplifies attraction into obsession. Of course, there's a balance. Too much distance and she feels rejected. Too much transparency and she feels bored. The power lies in rhythm. Moments of revelation followed by moments of restraint. Like waves against the shore, mystery works through contrast. You let her close enough to feel warmth, then step back just enough for her to reach for it again. This isn't a performance. It's an awareness. Knowing that emotion thrives on motion. A relationship without polarity becomes a friendship. Mystery restores that pulse of polarity even years later. The man who keeps some dreams private, who continues to grow in silence, gives her something to admire, not just something to love. That's what most men forget. You don't lose a woman's attraction because she stops loving you. You lose it because she stops being curious. Once her curiosity dies, so does the tension. And without tension, love feels flat. Mystery keeps her emotionally alert. It gives love dimension, texture, electricity. It tells her there's always more to uncover, always another layer to you. And in that endless unfolding, she finds the emotional adventure her instincts crave. Next, Chapter 6. Becoming the mystery, living what she can't define. Mystery isn't something you create. It's something you become. You can't fake it, and you can't script it. Real mystery lives in the quiet conviction of a man who knows himself, but doesn't need everyone else to. It's the confidence that comes from direction, from depth, from stillness. See, a man who's unsure of who he is will always try to explain himself. He'll defend, clarify, overshare, all to earn approval. But a man who's centered doesn't rush to be understood. He lets time and consistency reveal his truth. That's where real mystery begins. In self-possession. To become the mystery is to live a life that means something beyond validation. Have purpose. Have craft. Have silence that's full, not empty. When your time and attention are directed toward building something real, your health, your work, your mastery, your presence changes. You stop needing to be liked and start being felt. That feeling is what she's drawn to. The sense that there's more to you than what meets the eye. That beneath your calm exterior lies a man who wrestles with life, who carries a world of thought he doesn't parade around. She doesn't need to understand all of it. She just needs to sense that it's there. Mystery isn't about distance, it's about dimension. You can be open-hearted and still mysterious. You can be vulnerable without being predictable. It's in the rhythm. The alternation between showing and holding, sharing and reflecting. When you reveal something real, do it with weight. Let your words land. Let her feel that they cost you something to say. Because mystery lives in meaning. The more meaning your life carries, the more mysterious you become. Your depth isn't in what you hide. It's in what you embody. A man who's loyal to his own mission, who protects his inner world instead of spilling it for instant connection, radiates quiet power. And that power makes people curious. She'll sense it. In the way you move, the way you listen, the way you hold eye contact without rushing to fill silence. She'll wonder what shaped you, what drives you, what you're not saying. That wondering is the seed of attraction. And the moment she feels it, she's not analyzing anymore. She's feeling. The ultimate mystery isn't about being unreadable. It's about being alive in a world that's numb. When you stand rooted in purpose, unbothered by approval, guided by something higher than attention, you become the rarest thing of all. Unpredictable, yet trustworthy. Calm, yet intense. Known, yet unknowable. That's what fascinates her. Not a mask, not a trick, but a man who carries quiet storms inside him and still walks with grace. Because in the end, women aren't drawn to what's hidden. They're drawn to what's infinite.